Your world is waiting, but first you have to access it. Welcome to the Joshua Roy Show. We don't do fluff, we do freedom. Real talk on mindset, cutting edge coaching techniques, and the hidden frameworks for lasting change. If you're ready to move from being stuck to becoming the architect of your life, you're ready for this. Hit subscribe. Let's get to work. People are wanting to become coaches and to do some trainings. And what I do is I run courses, programs, trainings. And so if you're interested in learning about any of that, you can ask me any questions while you're here. If there are any comments, I help people to become coaches, coach qualified. I run certifications and give people certifications so that they can start coaching people. And there's a couple of things that we do around coaching. We resolve, dissolve, or solve trapped emotions. We help people with their values conflicts, and we also help people to get rid of their limiting beliefs. You want to have a limiting belief about what you can do, what you're going to accomplish. Well, what we want is both confidence and competence, and you get the competence by going through courses and trainings, and you get the confidence by simply doing a thing more and more. So what is results? What is life coaching? Life coaching and results coaching is all about helping you change the way you look at things, your perception, and also the way you do things, your procedure. So perception and procedure are two things we look at changing. I'll tell you a couple of stories. There was a young boy across the road several years ago, and he just sprained his ankle. He was a teenager. He was actually quite big, bigger than I am. And as a teenager, he was limping around. And I went over there and saw that he was limping, and it just so happened that I'd learned a technique just a short time before. And so I asked him, do you want to solve this problem? Do you want to be able to walk properly and normally again? He said, yes. Anyway, I did a little technique with him. It's called psychosomatic neuromodulation. And once that technique was done, he was walking like normal, like no pain in his foot. Like everything was gone, evaporated, and it was amazing. So incredible. You don't have to stay stuck or limited in your thinking, that you can start to stretch and expand and become more than you are currently. And it's about, taking on an increased or elevated opinion of who you are, but not in a way that's detrimental. Some people have this ego about themselves and who they are and what they can do, but it's a self-generated internal feeling that people are able to utilize in order to generate the motivation and then create the momentum that they need to actually move into something very successful in their life. So I've chosen to follow in their footsteps to some degree. And so I've got many mentors in my life. You probably have too in your life. And one of the fastest ways to make progress that we know in the world today is through mentoring. Is if you see somebody who's successful and you do the same things that they do, then you can create that success for yourself. So it's about following in another's footsteps, generating that not just internally, but also generating the behaviors that will give you the external rewards and results. So there's another story I want to tell you. This is an interesting one because I went to a seminar one time, and I'm sitting in the seminar with a bunch of other people. And this woman next to me was fidgeting, she was moving, and she couldn't get comfortable for some reason. Anyway, as the day progressed, I noticed that she looked like she was in agony. She looked like she was in pain. Her face was contorted. She wasn't concentrating much. She wanted to be there. She wanted to learn. She wanted to grow, but something was inhibiting this. Something was preventing her from being calm and relaxed. And so I asked her eventually, I said, what's wrong? What's going on? And she told me that she just had breast implants done and she was in a lot of pain. She said the doctor told her that the pain would probably go away within the next few days or a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, she just had to work through it, taking painkillers, whatever else she could to get her way through, make her way through. And so I remember that as I listened to her, and I thought about immediately a thing that I'd learned called the spinning technique. I remember I came along, probably just a YouTube video, and I watched it, and the man that was on the video, David Snyder was his name, he was showing people how to do rapid healing techniques. And when I saw this for the first time, I was pretty shocked by it, because he had people come in who had bad backs, headaches, other ailments, and seemingly was creating healing for them in real time. He was healing them. And I was like, what's this all about? Like, how are these people being healed? Like, they were going up and he said, describe to me your pain. And they said, oh, my back pain's a level 7. My knee pain's a level 9. My headache is a level 7 or 8. And then he did these techniques with them, and suddenly all the pain was gone. And I'm telling you, it just blew me away. I'm sitting there watching this, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that anybody in today's world had such ability. The only time you read about stories like this, if you go back in history and you look at Jesus of Nazareth, you look at other healers throughout the world, the shamans and the monks of the past, and, people who actually do healing. And here he was, just an ordinary person who'd learned some mind techniques. He was more scientifically involved in the processes and principles, and yet he was creating healings for others, healing work. And so I was looking at that healing work, and I thought, this is incredible. This is quite amazing. So then I started utilizing it myself. And this woman who was sitting next to me, I said, do you want to get rid of the pain? She had breast implants and she was in a lot of pain. And she said, yes, I want to get rid of the pain. And so I said, in order to get rid of the pain, we need to first of all acknowledge where the pain is. So go ahead, take your finger and point to it. I call it point and click therapy. And so she pointed to it. And then I had to associate a color with it. I said the first impression is usually right. So she thought of a color. It was the first impression. Then I said, now pull it out, which she did. Now notice I said that color is spinning in a direction. Which way is it moving? Forward, backwards, left, right. Which way is it moving? And she told me, and I said, now double the speed, double the spin, double the amplitude, double the magnitude, double the force. I gave her some commands like this, and she followed along. And I said, put the energy back in. Notice what happens in your body. And you're not going to believe this. The pain was all gone. All the pain was gone. And so I started working with a lot of different people with headaches, people with back pain, people with knee pain, knee injuries, people with all sorts of problems. And what I discovered was the same thing, that the pain of all of these people vanished. The pain was all gone. And that absolutely blew me away, that you could actually do a technique and get rid of pain in somebody's body. Now, I believe that when a person fully understands how the unconscious mind works, some people call it the subconscious, I like to call it the unconscious mind. When you really understand how the subconscious mind works, then you can create change in your life. You can create change at a real physical level. And the other thing that I want to look at I have delved into a lot, is how emotions and physical pain work together. So a lot of people have physical pain, and what they fail to realize is that below most physical pain is an underlying emotion. And if you can solve that emotion, then you can solve the pain that somebody feels and experiences. Because it's all today about transforming your life through nervous system reprogramming. And you think about somebody who's got post-traumatic stress disorder. Actually, I'll tell you another story. I was working one time, and I'm working at the hospital. And while I'm working at the hospital, there was a person who was there at the hospital who told us that he could not eat KFC. And when we asked him why, he explained that one time he saw somebody eating a piece of KFC chicken, and he said, this tastes funny. And he opened it up, and he said there was this white substance in there. It looked like the chicken must have been diseased or sick or something. Anyway, there was this white gooey substance that was in there. Anyway, he took it back and got that replaced, but he was watching this. And he said from seeing that scene, he has never returned to KFC again, and he has never eaten KFC chicken ever since that incident. Now, that's interesting, but even he went so far as to say that even when he thinks about KFC now, even just thinking about it, causes his stomach to churn, causes him to feel like he's about to throw up, causes him discomfort. This is classic nervous system reprogramming. I want you to think about post-traumatic stress disorder for a moment. PTSD, we call it for short. But post-traumatic stress disorder simply means that you've been to an incident, or you've seen something, or you've witnessed something, you've experienced something, maybe you've heard something. Something has affected you at not just the mind level, at a nervous system level. And because it affected you at a nervous system level, that nervous system response can return at any time. So whether it's something you see, whether it's something you hear, whether it's something you experience, you can revisit that. You can have that occur all over again. And this is what happens when the nervous system is out of control. The nervous system is out of control. It can affect everything. Affect your sleep, affect your ability to communicate, to associate with others, affect your abilities throughout life. Every part of life, every element of life. It can affect the way you think about money, your relationship to money, your ability to attract wealth and money into your life. It can affect everything. Welcome back, and I hope you learned something great, something you're going to take out to improve the quality of your life. Now, this has been Joshua Roy. I'm your happiness and fulfillment coach. I'm a results coach helping you to take more control of your mind, your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors, and your life. If you haven't already, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe so that you can get all of the new exciting content that is delivered through this and other platforms.